Greetings and welcome back to room 303 in our Talks with Walt, as we are calling our readings to the deathbed edition of Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass. We turn now to a carol closing 69. This is poem number 5 of the 58 of Sands at 70. We are in some ways back to an earlier poem that we worked with, Prayer of Columbus. And you'll remember in that prayer, in that poem, there's this longing to try to understand the aging process for Columbus. Now, our assumption is that you've been following our stuff at learnstrong.net down that left-hand side, Talks with Walt, and that you've been with us all the way from inscriptions up through including Prayer of Columbus, as well as a set of introductory comments to 70, and we just finished with Those Who Have Failed. Now, our Nortons will tell us very briefly that this poem was first published in the New York Herald May 21st of 1880. There is a Barrett transcript that shows the note sent to Liebenkotz and the cancellation of 2 other titles, Carols at nearing 70 and a carol cluster at 69. Now, I find this a fascinating text for a number of reasons. We've commented already on the way in which close and close have been used back and forth before. You'll remember in Prayer of Columbus, the clouds already closing in upon me, right? So we're going to be playing this game, as well as in My Legacy. You'll remember he said, my life surveying, closing, this idea that it's coming to an end. And as we've commented in Sands at 70 in these brief poems, it is this reconciling, this coming to terms with what really is it, what does it mean to actually come to the end of one's life. He'll begin with a carol closing 69, a resume. By the way, this is the only use of that word in this way in all of Leaves of Grass. A repetition. My lines in joy, think about the power of mystic trumpeter 8 with joy, and hope, continuing on the same. In other words, he wants to end his life the way he has spent so much of his life. Remember what he said at the beginning of Song of Myself 1? Hoping to cease not till death. And here, of course, we're playing the same game. Of ye, of course, we're going to use that religious language of his Quaker upbringing. Oh God, life, nature, freedom, poetry, these are the things that matter to him, as he's listing them in capital letters. Notice all caps. Of you, my land, and then parenthetics, your rivers, prairies, as we said. It always comes back to the land with him, right? States, notice capitalized. You, molted flag I love. You'll remember molted from Year of Meteors. Flag, back to the patriotism that's so important with our study of Leaves of Grass. You, aggregate, retained, entire. It's always about the unity of the states. Of north, south, east, and west, your items all. In other words, again, all of America needs to be included. Of me, myself, we're back to Song of Myself. The jocund heart, remember jocund from so long? The jocund heart yet beating in my breast. In other words, I'm not dead yet, right? The body, wrecked, old, poor, and paralyzed. I'm fascinated that he puts poor right in the middle of that list, aren't you? That is to say, Whitman never was able to achieve the fame and the economic success that he had hoped in his poems. By the way, this has to take us back, of course, to Prayer of Columbus, no question. The strange inertia, only use in all Leaves of Grass of inertia is right here. The strange inertia falling Paul-like around me. Paul-like only used one time in Leaves of Grass, and it's right here. In other words, it's so strange to him, he says, that I went from having this amazing body to, after his stroke of 73 and on, it's like, what is wrong? What is wrong with me? The burning fires down in my sluggish blood, not yet extinct. Sluggish gets used 6 times in Leaves of Grass. I find it fascinating that he uses it here. Notice, I'm not done yet, not extinct. The undiminished, and then he uses the word faith. The groups of loving friends. Notice the use of the dash after the word faith. That is to say, my loving friends are what allow me to sustain my faith. Well, what are we going to say at 2A about a poem like this? Even at 69, just a few years away at 72 when he will die, Whitman refrains or refuses to give up and to quit. He still believes in himself and his project. At 2B, I love all of the capital letters, right? That notice, God, life, nature, freedom, poetry, land, states, flags. It's almost like you would expect friends to also be capitalized at the end of this poem. At 3A, I mentioned Prayer Columbus. Go back and take a look at what we've already said about Prayer Columbus and then just be kind of blown away by how that poem and this poem work together. Finally, at 3B, what do you think it'll be like to grow old? And at what point will you think of yourself as old? And as you grow old, will you still be able to retain your faith? I hope that your reading of Leaves of Grass will help with that. Thank you.